theory that because I know the way they treat artists overseas in Japan is completely different than they do here, where art over here is more so a commodity and strictly treated as such, and strangleholded as such. I believe the Iron Age is actually going to help promote more creations like that from the West by finally releasing the boldest of the artists from the shackles of these industries and give them a much more healthier environment to prosper and explore these ideas, particularly in the age of crowdfunding.
So you're probably correct. And I already know one guy who is surprisingly good at art, but he's like fixated on Nazi iconography. And he's not he is not so jaw-droppingly good at art that you go, oh, he clearly knows what he's doing. He's just in revolt against censorship and is So if you completely just switch to crowdfunding, unleash the chains, you're going to get people doing extremely edgy things before they have the overwhelming skill to warrant it. So,
and I can't wait. That sounds amazingly great. I don't know what you're complaining about. We get to see the entire sword forge into something magnificent and get some cringe along the way. And technically, that might already be happening in the form of something I mentioned earlier, like creepypastas and shit like that.
It's not necessarily that, but you don't want. I hate to say it, really low. You don't want low quality stuff out when you're trying to create this movement because it'll turn people off. Looks what's going on with Disney.
Yeah, that's true. Have a good night, Christy.
That's you don't want to have a barrier either. You want to have your cake and eat it too, which is why I'm trying to get this anthology launched so I can start taking in submissions because no one should be the arbiter of this is Iron Age or this is not Iron Age. But at the same time, people coming in need to have some kind of direction and assurance that if they pick up Star Shatter, they want to know they're not being lied to when people say that's a good book. Mm-hmm. And if you have a bunch of reviewers that say, yeah, Star Shatter is great, and I haven't read it, let's say it is great, it probably is, I don't know. And then they take the next recommendation and it's for Joe Schmo, the White Knight adventures of, committing federal crimes against HR or something, and it's bad. All of a sudden, they're not going to trust that reviewer anymore. Know what I mean?
Yeah, that's absolutely.
Yeah, agreed.
I think the beautiful part about this, I think, is the decentralization of it all. Because it's not really a quote unquote industry as much as just a bunch of people giving it all they got, hopefully. And the good is gonna I think the good's just gonna float to the top. And there will be obvious issues like that, but I think the good is like this decentralization of it and just people's natural ability to want to consume something good. And these doors being open is just gonna prove much more positive than negative, I believe. In the short and the long run.
Well, here's just an example of how things could go wrong. If Iron Age Media starts selling the short story positions in the magazine instead of awarding them, no one's going to buy the magazine if he does that. Mm-hmm. If it's pay to play to get in, and he's still charging like $30 for the magazine.
Yeah,
people are going to say this is just a giant grift. Now, for those listening, he didn't do that. I'm just making up an example, but
absolutely. But that kind of goes along with something I brought up either last week or the week before: is how, as we grow, do we keep from becoming that which we're bucking against right now?
I think we're gonna have different issues. Like, how about Rob Rhimes's Wednesday Pimp Your Projects thread? There's like 100 people that drop their projects. How do you tell them apart? How do you sort through that? How do you take the time to sort through 100 random people every week?
Wow. Yeah.
Well, that comes down to marketing right there, because people are going to just have to find the app. That's another thing that people are going to unfortunately have to conquer. And truthfully, I think all of us here are a bit of trailblazers, making way for people to come in 2-3 years time that may read some of our stuff or hear this Iron Age thing, and we'll be there to kind of give them the tips. So it's good that we're discussing all this, and each and every single one of us should go about our own way, trying to find out how we individually are going to do that, and then spread the information or something, whatever we think proper. Because it's like, much like Billy Bob said, it's about the decentralization. And I think that's going to be our strong suit beyond any and all things.
Sure.
Yeah. We need some form of almost like an interdependence, not codependent, but not completely independent either. It's like we could all stand interdependent, where we could all stand on our own, do our own thing, but are able to work together, help each other out.
Yeah, promote each other's stuff.
So
and,
I wanted to bring that up because I think I have one solution, but there's 100 Iron Age authors at this point, going by Twitter trends. That should mean that we have 99 other solutions, and some people's solutions will work out better, and success will breed success.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, lean off of each other. Success will breed success. I try to promote other people's stuff that I believe are good. I would even say, to a small degree, read each other's stuff, and then if something actually does impress you, now you got something that you could probably share with somebody else, even if it is just a bit here or a bit there.